And a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers and newbie goobers out there. Welcome to Animanic with Comic Auzi, where I basically talk about pretty much any piece of media as long as it's animated. And tonight, we will be watching the Disney classic, Make Mine Music. Now, Make Mine Music is far and away the very first of these Disney package films to have absolutely no regular connection between any of the skits. When I say that, what I really mean to say is we basically have another Fantasia here, except instead of instrumental music, we're being presented with lyrical music, at least for the most part. I think maybe one segment in this film contains like a non-lyrical segment, but you know, it is what it is, right? Now, I'm gonna try to keep y'all busy here, cause you guys had to find a copy of this movie. As you can tell, up in the top left corner, top left corner of the screen here, you can tell that there is no copy of this movie on Disney Plus. So, you'll have to go and find alternative means. Now, the real curiousness, I suppose I could check for all of you, because I am so kind as to want to do so, I could check to see if it's available on YouTube. So we gotta go search Make Mine Music. And the answer is no. The answer is no. Well, I suppose you guys will just have to take my word for it that this film is very pretty, and it's going to be very fun. It's going to be animated, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be gorgeous. But you are going to have to find some method of watching it. You'll have to find a VHS or a DVD copy of it that you can locally get your hands on. Evidently, though, Disney did sell it on Blu-ray, so it's not like Disney has made it inaccessible. I mean, hell, not just anything gets a Blu-ray release. Unless you're Disney, in which case everything gets a Blu-ray release. So, you know, eventually. Well, then again, not Bonkers. Bonkers never got a Blu-ray. I'm having a hard time saying Blu-ray, so instead of me stumbling over home media formats, we're going to go ahead and start the movie in 3, 2, 1, clicka. All right. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful art for the opening credits here, by the way. Really getting across this idea of going to a concert. Benny Goodman, hell yeah. The Andrews Sisters. Jerry Colonna, yes, naturally. And of course, Sterling Holloway. Make Mine Music. Really, they do get across this visiting a concert vibe. In fact, this is probably the kind of grandiosity that Fantasia needed. They needed to contextualize what they were doing. There's Milk Call. I always got to be on the lookout for his name as far as I'm concerned. Tombs. Let's keep an eye out for Claude Coates. There's Claude Coates! Claude Coates, my Haunted Mansion man! And so, process effects by Iwerks, huh? Nice. And I'm sure all these names become familiar to someone at some point, somewhere in the world. I think Kermit the Frog said it best in the Muppet Great Muppet Caper. It was like, sure, they all have families. Make my music a musical fantasy. And here, a program. An animated program, but a tone poem sung by Ken Darby Chorus. Now, little trivia about this Blue Bayou segment is that the animation for it was originally made for Fantasia, but the segment it was a part of was cut. So now they just recycled the animation and the segment and placed I don't know if this is a new song. So basically we're looking at Fantasia era animation right now. We're looking at Fantasia era, Fantasia quality. You know? So I'd certainly say that we're seeing very similar tricks here. One of the tricks that you'll notice immediately is that there's no actual animation going on. I mean, there obviously is, because the camera, the multiplane is being pushed through the different layers of background, and then it's being clicked frame by frame, so that's animating. But otherwise, there's no character animation, no effects animation. It's all mostly static images. Again, I think the ripples in the water, where it looks like a piece of glass is being strung across it, and now we have a bird. Undeniable of most Fantasia animation. It's one thing we could probably all agree on, is that it's very beautiful. I do wonder about this then, like, because now we're actually being treated to a concert with the understanding that it is a concert. So I feel like we've got a pretty good framework for understanding that a beautiful piece of music is here, whereas Fantasia was so high in its concept that it didn't allow itself to really connect with the audience. That's always the struggle with being an artist, and Walt Disney was an artist in his own respect. It's like if all of the artists and animators were the sheet music writers and the orchestra players, Walt Disney was kind of like a conductor. And he always had this vision. Like, you can even see, like, in Fantasia, he had this vision of, like, high art with animation. And the biggest issue that we're even still seeing today is that animation is not respected enough as high art. So there always has to be something through which we can connect the animation. Yet the ripples in the water are very beautiful. Like, I'm talking over it, mostly because this segment is just beautiful animation. It's like you see, they're really treating these birds like real birds. And for me, as far as considering animation, there's always like the piece by piece, frame by frame angle of animation. And this is just like the delicacy of a hand to be able to draw the birds soaring here across this foggy bayou vista. It's just really pretty. It's really pretty. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. When you do anything animated, you gotta have something through which that you're connecting it. And I feel like that's where cartoons exceed, is that Benny Goodman. Love me some Benny Goodman. This is gonna be a fun night for me. You always gotta have something through which you can caricature. Nice. Alright, now this. Oh, let's really get the hand of the artist in here. This concerns jukebox and a... Nah, not that kind of cat. This kind of cat. Not gonna lie. This, so as much in a lot of the segments in this are really good. This one is like right up there, top 2 or top 3 segments in this film. It's definitely a favorite. They're really having a lot of fun with the hand of the artist here. Maybe not the hand of the artist as much the pencil. I really love the way they're doing the shimmy on his feet. Like, there's such a great there's such a great feel of dance in a lot of this. And part of that aspect is that, well, we have the music being able to present us, you know, like, very danceable music, and the characters are just... That is true. It is kind of similar to how Saludos Amigos did it. And the framework is also kind of similar. Because, like, in the Saludos Amigos segment, they utilized the samba in order to get across their movement and dance, whereas this uses jazz. Sorry, kid. Oh, this is a great gag right here, and he... it's just so much fun. Beat it. And this whole segment is so ride by, because like a lot of the and it's such a good gag. Even the friggin' antenna stiffens up. There's so much character in this short. Look at him go. Look at him go. Jazz-a-matazz-a-maraz-a-malaz. Got on down to the malt shop. We just got the back and forth. I was just like... It almost feels less like they're animating to the music specifically, and rather that they're animating to the tempo. Because it certainly fits to the beat of the music, but... Okay, the animator and that kid there are both jackasses. This was a good one. Yeah. And I do like that guy. He's got a pretty nice fit. Come on. What a perfect way to end that short. Just blow up the music machine. You know? That's really it. A Ballad in Blue. Andy Russell singing with you. Oh, singing without you. I guess we're getting another Blue Bayou type segment. We're pacing it up here. I'm wondering how they did that. Very slick. Very, very well done. Like, I'm being honest. Once again, most of what we're seeing is the most minimal animation. And there we go. There's some animation there. Something so interesting. Like, how do you discuss this from an animated standpoint? Okay, that's really nice. And when he's talking about praying, the church-like imagery fades in. It's like, this is the kind of thing that animation does really well. You can literalize the lyrics of a song in front of you. Whether they're incredibly silly or they're more somber, like this song. Some shadows passing across a field. Oh, what do we have here? Very well done. And again, to the beat. Ah. See, this is the kind of abstract art that Walt was trying to get across in something like Fantasia. What he really wanted the animators to explore. But obviously there's the recognizing that just doesn't necessarily work all the time, you know? It's so slick, you know? You hardly notice a lot of the transitions. Because it feels so utterly seamless. Hey guys, look, bisexual. Yeah. It's like there's some animation in there. But most of it is about capturing a vibe. And that's a very different thing in animation. And the way they cheat a little on doing that is by, you know, having a lot of static background art. And then crossfade to something else. Ah! Another favorite segment of mine here with the, Casey at the bat. Jerry Colonna. Now this one is just straight up a cartoon short based on the short Casey at the Bat. Gotta love this art here. It does feel like Casey, the pride of them all. Gotta love the art here looking like art from that era. Now we've gone to I love that. Love the flipping of the card, point card. Now this is a lot of fun animation. Oof. Bonk. Disney animators really love the rubber aspect of cartoon characters. You can see the way they're wobbling around so much. I mean, you'd like to think that. Well, get out there. Again, you really think that a character just running to first base would be simple, but then they throw in the mustache. And they're blowing the roof off the joint. There any celebrity caricatures in that mess? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Love the prance here. It's like he's in ballet. It's great. They got a really good angle on making this guy seem like an arrogant prick. Just every action of his is just puff chest. Always love a good cartoon not gag. Again, they really love the rubber aspects of their cartoon characters. Seriously, the animators are just having a ball here. Good lord. Good lord. Well, that guy in the right over here has sharp teeth. Good lord. Again. Yeah. They're having so much fucking fun. I love that the woman who pulled the pin out of her hair to like get up at the umpire. Her clothes were so still disheveled. Oh god. Now here, right here, this is an excellent example of what Bambi didn't quite understand. Gods. Just gonna absolutely love the angle of this. And there he goes. There he goes. They did. They did. Good Lord. Now what do we have here? Ballet. Ah, 2 silhouettes. I think the animation we're gonna get here is these two little cupids here. As I believe our couple here are rotoscoped. Oh, wow. Actually, I don't even know if they're actually... I don't even know if they're rotoscoped. 'Cause I don't see any boiling on these lines. I think they might... Yeah. They're using some kind of special technique to just have 2 dancers on a stage be keyed out completely, but also that they can have the colors swapped out. And the thing is, they're able to utilize a live action animation combo in a unique way. I mean, last week we had the 3 Caballeros showing animated characters and real people interacting in some version of events. But here, rather than the live actors, rather than the animations coming a part of the live actors world, the live actors become a part of the animated world. Not too dissimilar to how it would go on to be later in Mary Poppins. I mean, this cannot have been easy in the slightest, right? Look at him go. You know, the dancing is very lovely, of course, but I think its integration with animation is even more so. I think I'll have to reference this when we talk about Cinderella, because I'm getting "So This Is Love" vibes. And not the song or even the dance, but the lighting. Yeah. very nice, very peaceful. I suppose when I say that the Cupids are the only animated elements, I mean they're the only animated characters, because everything else is, you know, at least from a character standpoint, it's just the actors on a stage being filmed in a specific way so as to only show their silhouettes. And then those silhouettes being able to be placed on any background. And here we go. Here's a segment that everybody will, like, recognize this film for. It is, as told by Sterling Holloway, a fairy tale with music, Peter and the Wolf. Indeed. Here we go. And what we have here, you just have the strings from the Fantasia opening. Now that's a lovely duck. I love how the shape of his head, it's really great. The animator is perfectly demonstrating how the instruments do characterize this. I love this transformation here. It's so great. Love that. Gotta love that. A terrible, terrifying wolf in sheep's clothing. Represented by the brass section. Actually, the French horns specifically, though, right? Because those sound like horns. Those aren't like trumpets or trombones. Those are specifically horns. Foo boy. Oh, Lord. Today? With his best pop gun. You know what's even more interesting? From what I know, narration is actually a part of the Peter and the Wolf performance. But the thing is that the animation does such a good job at portraying the characters. In fact, even now, like... oh, I can only imagine. Toss the snow for good luck? I don't understand that. Off he goes. off to hunt his prey, to get his kill. Off they go on the adventure. You know, Sasha's color scheme, I'm realizing, on its own, is kind of making him look a little Araquan-esque, isn't he? Very pink with the red hair and the yellow bill. No. Yeah. You might want to hold that the other way around. No doubt. Kitty. It's a bit of a snake in the grass. Bad kitty. Now, this is less of Disney's cartoon animation. This is more of their more theatrical hero animation. You see, like, while they're still very flexible, they're less rubber than a lot of the characters in the Casey and the Bat short. A little more solidly drawn. Like when these characters bounce around, they bounce around with a sense of shape. Oh god, that wolf. They did a really good job at conveying this wolf in animation as a terrifying beast. Oh no. Sonya there's exuding some serious Donald energy. Hey, rotten cat. Oh Lord. Oh god. Love the reaction to the music. It's so good. Off she goes. Anybody know Russian could read that sign? Did it say thin ice? Danger thin ice? We're getting all Scooby-Doo up in here. This is some kind of Blair-esque background design. Oh no. God, did you want to cry tonight? Hold your tears. Oh no! God! Love the little wave and the little waddle way. I would certainly think not. Brave face now. Sasha, you oof. Little too close call. I know, right? Get his tail. Got him! Just spin your legs. They got a really good sense of the shape there. Love the facial expressions here too. They absolutely go wild. Cause you really gotta heighten those emotions in a moment like this. Oh. Oh boy. Again, whenever we're staring at this wolf dead on, he's just completely horrifying. What is it we see? Off they go. You did it. Yeah, well, he had it coming. You gotta love this. Gotta love the friggin' party up in here. Oh. Yeah, just stick the tail feather back in, I suppose. What a lovely little story. What a lovely little animation. All the characterization is just great. The Goodman Quartet, Cole Wise Wilson and Goodman himself. After You've Gone. Oh, okay, yo. Ah, yes. Gotta absolutely love the way they're characterizing these musical instruments, and they're able to animate them with as few limbs as possible. Yep. Oh, lovely. Oh, so this is where this animation comes from. I always tend to forget that. Here comes back clarinet. Ah! Again, animation is really good at creating a dance. Out of pretty much anything, honestly. You got your shapes and colors. Oh, God. Drumming down. Love it. The piano's an airplane. Oh, getting hot. Getting hot on that clarinet. Honestly, I always forget that segment is there, but it's always so much fun. And now a love story. Now here's one I always remember is in here. The Andrews Sisters performing Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet. On the topic of personification, we personified the musical instruments with absolutely zero semblance of a face. The only exception may be that the echo chamber of the bass formed a mouth, whereas here it's nothing but face. I was like, did you ever see a fedora and thought, hey, it kind of looks like it has a face? Well, here you are. Absolutely loving the way that they're using the ribbon for her arms, and that for the moment they're utilizing the they're using the stands that they're on. So you got like Alice Bluebonnet has the little lips drawn on her standard, whereas Johnny here absolutely, you can see the beautiful though is how they're using the hole, like the where you wear the hat on Johnny Fedora as a mouth from specific angles, but they're doing it really well. And it's not even necessary the entire time. And you can see they're utilizing the brim as a bit of a mouth as well. It's like it's not needed because the eyes do so much work. Especially when they're as expressive as Johnny's. Just look at them. And there's the frown. You can see the smile. the police officer hat having little dot eyes. I'm trying to keep that hat on. Oof. Look at him go. Oh boy. Make a pretty decent point of not showing any faces for the most part. Oof. Off Johnny goes. Wind-swept, battered, beaten, and frayed. Ma'am. Again, they're doing a real great job of giving him a mouth. Off he goes. No! It's so sad and pathetic. He's still able to smile even on the horse's head. Alright, this is a part of the show where you would actually pop up the warning of outdated shit, and not because of anything for the whale who wanted to sing at the Met, but because of a song the whale sings at the beginning of the short. Hello. Is it? You can It's so interesting, right? Teddy tatty. It's so interesting, this whole skit. We're right back to the same cartoony over-the-top animation that we saw back in Casey the Bat. No. Sorry, Willie, you can't say that anymore. It is a catchy little ditty, though. But if you ever hear this song used in cartoons, you'll never hear them sing it out loud. Not anymore. Yeah. They got a great sense of scale in this whole thing. Boy. Again, animation is really good at doing this kind of a dance. You gotta love how I get a feeling that the sailors actually know what's going on here. I love that. I love the way they're able to have his wings be the number. It's so well done. I know, right? One would ask if he could even fit there. Take a bow. Everyone craning their necks to look up at him. It's so simple. You think of it, right? I hope y'all have umbrellas in the front row. Okay, you better at least have umbrellas over those instruments. God. I mean, you gotta imagine when you got a robber singing whale. Again, everyone's gotta crane their necks. Talk about playing to the cheap seats. Mephistopheles. I think we saw him in a poster for that. Off he goes. Oh no. God. Just... I think we've even very intentionally stepped away from our cartoonier characters for all that we could see. Now would be a good time to break out the tissues. Oh, God. To the biggest audience he's ever played to. God. Because at least St. Peter knows what he has on his hand, right? Ah, man. And that's the end of our concert, everybody. God. God. Can you just... Like, for real. For real. What a beautiful little movie. What an adorable, cute, sweet, entirely and completely sweet. It's just so nice, you know? And again, with very few exceptions, like when he's singing, like when he's singing "Shortening Bread," or when the Chinese newspaper came up with its decidedly ethnic music, with probably those two being, I think, the only two exceptions. This movie is largely unproblematic, and honestly I don't understand why it can't just go up with the warning on Disney Plus. It is a good package, honestly. They have Melody Time on there, did you know? They have Melody Time on Disney Plus, but they don't have Make Mine Music. Let's be honest with ourselves, though. I think Make Mine Music would blow Melody Time out of the water. just in all honesty. It just overshadows it in a lot of ways. The stories that they decide to tell in Make Mine Music are far cry way more interesting. You know, they're way more fascinating. Like the stories being told in Melody Time may be more epic when they come up, like Johnny Appleseed or Pecos Bill, but they won't be nearly as interesting. It's like Johnny Fedora is more interesting, whereas the Andrews Sisters, a Little Toot. Well, see, I don't even think that's necessarily an issue, though. Like, they had a segment in this movie that was based on the Hatfields and McCoys. Which, being perfectly honest, they cut it out. So why can't they just do that on Disney Plus too? Or maybe even better, for archival purposes, bring it the fuck back, right? Because it's like, I'd love to see that segment because it looks super fun. Like that Bugs Bunny cartoon with the two hillbillies, or when the House of Mouse did the Hatfields and McCoys. They did! The House of Mouse did it! They did it as a Mickey Mouse and Friends cartoon. I think it was like House Sitters. Yeah, it was House Sitters. Look up House Sitters from the House of Mouse. It's basically Mickey, Donald, and Goofy house sitting for the Hatfields, and then Big Bad Old Pete house sitting for the McCoys. And it's hilarious. But all said and told, I love Make Mine Music. I love all the cast joining. I love the vibrant and bouncy animation with all of it. And I love the more straightforward and simple, humble little hero animation that's being employed, like Pinocchio animation being employed in the Peter and the Wolf segment. It's very sweet. It's and it captures the vibe of the music pretty darn well. I can't see anyone else animating it and doing it nearly as well as Disney did. So that's Make Mine Music. Not much to say about it. It's just a really good collection of shorts. Even some of the slower shorts like Blue Bayou and Two Silhouettes and When You're Gone. Oh, After You're Gone. That's a really good one. That one's a bop. And we'll have its younger sibling when we see Bumble Boogie in Melody Time. But that will be in a couple weeks from now. Next week we do Fun and Fancy Free. So until next time, thank you so much for joining me. If you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. And if you can, make recommendations to Disney Plus. Go to the recommended sections like, hey, is there any oversights? Make Mine Music isn't on your platform. Put it the fuck on there. It's good. Good night, everybody!